right, Poppy, thank you so much. We just finished working together and had our last coaching call, last but not last. But I'd love for you to share your experience and describe what your life was like before working together. Just give people an idea of the experience of working together and going through this. So what was your life like before we worked together?
So
Yeah.
my life 6 weeks ago, prior to RTT, was chaotic. And that's like the best like way for me to summarize what was going on. I felt like I was getting hit from every angle, personally and professionally, and it just counseling for one I've always been a huge supporter and all about getting help, for sure, or just through counseling and therapy, whatever type of therapy that's out there. And I came across rapid transformational therapy a very short time that I downloaded TikTok. And when I first saw your video on there, I don't know, like something inside me just knew, because I was looking for counseling, and I just like knew, just watching your video and then going to, to your page and seeing more other videos. And I just knew, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is who I need to reach out to. This is like what I need. And I could just tell that it was going to take a lot out of me, but I was so ready for it. So,
Because you had
yeah.
a lot going on. When you say chaotic, it was like personal life, like relationships, like career, like your goals, aspirations, things that you wanted to do and just felt stuck in. And like, yeah, it was really, I remember impacting all areas of your life.
Stuck. That was right. That's the best way. When we first talked, was I was stuck, and I have never felt so stuck in my life. And especially with the responsibilities that I have on me, I can't be stuck.
Yeah.
And COVID, of course, hitting this year, like didn't help. And I also know like so many other people were in the same boat. But specifically for me, it just made matters just that much worse. And I literally felt like I wasn't even floating, barely. I felt like I was literally drowning. So yeah.
Yeah, not a good feeling. Stuck and drowning. And especially, I mean, you've got kids, you've got a lot of responsibility in your life. And so it's not just you who needed that, but other people that depend on you too, in all ways. So what is it, why did you decide to work with me? I know you kind of mentioned that connection, that kindred spirit, but was it something
Yeah.
specific? Or?
So it actually had to do with it was about narcissism. That
Mhm.
was a couple of your videos that I initially saw first. And just what you were describing in them, I could totally relate to. And the fact that I was still so triggered. And this year, so much has happened, between being a single mom, and the beginning of the year started good because I finally got divorced after almost 2 years of waiting to be divorced,
Yeah.
from married to a narcissist. And being able to actually find a therapist that understood, on a whole nother level, on a deeper level, when it comes to just narcissism, and what the type of healing, like having to come to understand that we're always going to be healing for the rest of our lives when it comes to that type of abuse. And just knowing that it's going to be okay, like you're going to come out of it. And one of the best things that you could do, because I remember you saying this too, is in your videos, was just talking about it, like sharing your experience. So yeah, like it was initially the narcissism videos that you were sharing, and then when I looked further into your website, and just learning more and reading just the reviews. I actually watched one of your other videos as well with another client that you had, and I just knew like this is it.
And you can see, make that connection over narcissism, but that's kind of that last representation of really what's going on in our life. And going through this journey, it's not learning more about the narcissist. It's
Right.
actually quite little to do with them, and really all to do with you and healing from within. But yeah, I mean, that's just something, that's an outward expression of what's going, all that chaos and that feeling of stuck that's going on within you. What would you mind sharing, like what these last 6 weeks were like, our experience in working together over the last 6 weeks?
So so I haven't finished all of my exercises, but the beautiful thing about it is that initially, like the first 2 weeks, I was stressing about it. And it was comforting for, for me to know, because I would reach out to you and you'd be like, you do it at your own time, do it at your own pace. And that alone for me was just like, oh, wow. And then being reminded too, like, it's always going to be there. When you feel ready, when your inner self, it's tells you that it's time, then that's when you can move forward with each of the exercises. But the number one thing that has completely changed and has helped me become Poppy again, but Poppy with like an extra oomph.
We just talked about that, just this elevation, just feel like you again, but the best version you've been of you.
Enlightened, and then also knowing like there's so much good and so much more like positivity and just good energy that hasn't like hit me yet. And as long as I keep continuing with the path that I'm on, like I will get there, and the things I'm wanting are going to happen. So but for me, my rapid transformational therapy like session, specifically when we did the recording specifically for me, that in itself has like changed just like my subconscious mind in a way that like I don't even have words for. I can't, I have to listen to it at least once a day. And it's either in the morning first thing. I won't even get out of bed. I won't even go to the bathroom just yet until I've listened to my 20 minutes. And so, and then same thing with like laying down and I fall asleep to it. And I've noticed the difference, with a couple of nights that I haven't been able to listen to it, but I listened to it in the morning, just with like what my mind does when I don't listen to it when I'm going to sleep. So, but yes, the first couple of weeks, it was just like worrying about, in so many ways, like I look back, like the irrelevant things, like the exercises are amazing and I've read all of them. At the same time, once like week 3 hit, I was like, hey, again, like telling myself it's there. But the fact that I've actually, added a new routine to like what I'm doing, it's completely become like the centerpiece of like my daily routine that like I have to do. And it slowly but surely like got me back on a track of just a mental strength that I've been wanting. And I felt like I lost, but now it's like on another level.
And you were
So
just sharing all the ways that it's impacting so many areas of your life, but the ability to like slow down, be
yes.
present, be calm in situations that in the past would just have you explode. And
Right.
now the same experiences you're able to see differently.
Yes, it's amazing to say like I have grown. 6 weeks is not a long time, but when you think about what the mind can do and how fast it actually can change, and it first starts with just being open-minded. And that's one thing too that especially with you, like I felt like you were like not the end, but your therapy was what I needed more than I actually even thought I did, because I've like learned to be even more proud of myself with my own work that I did through research and just trying to heal and like dig even deeper, on why I was attracting the people that I was in the past, why, I agreed to certain things that I probably shouldn't have agreed to, but really it all had to do within. And so to have dug even deeper now and understand like what's happening, and to look inward first and foremost before looking outward, it's like the best feeling ever. in
Yeah.
some yeah, in some moments it's like whoa, but at the same time, I'm able to slow down and like take that step back, evaluate it, and then like I'm in such a better place in making a better decision than I was 6 weeks ago. So
So how would you say that things are different for you now?
so my energy alone is, again, I feel like the peppy poppy. So my energy just, I'm so much more focused on the priorities that matter, just with being a single mom, with my kids, accepting things for what they are, but also understanding that, you know, we're still moving forward and that's the direction, you know, that I want to go, and not so much reliving, you know, what has already happened, because that's what was happening to me.
Yeah, living in that past, like, I should have done this, I could have done that. What if I would have done that? All the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Yeah.
And so, and then like with my relationship too, just with my boyfriend, like that in itself has grown even more, in ways that, I mean, our communication has always been number one for us from the very beginning, but just in the last 6 weeks alone, it's grown, I felt like 5 levels more, just with how I've learned to um, not only put my emotions first, but at the same time putting them first with respecting my partner. And
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, people say, well, putting yourself first, that's selfish.
hey, and it's not, it's healthy. There's a healthy way to be selfish. And so, and it starts with within, it starts with you. And I've
Starts
learned
with the self. Yeah.
exactly. So I like, I'm just, again, I'm speechless, and I'm trying really hard to not get emotional. Like, curious because like, yeah, like it's changed my life, like honestly, Sarah, I'm like so thankful.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. What would you say? I know I talk a lot about narcissism, and it actually is, it's about so much more. It's about finding yourself in that chaos and that mess of that. What would you say for anybody like trying to figure it out, and they've read the books, they've listened to the podcast, they've done, like, they're trying and they're just feeling stuck and feeling in that chaos, like you and I both have been there? What would you say to someone in that space in regards to, like, if they're looking for something different? Because like you said, and I get that, was 6 weeks. I can't change in 6 weeks. That's not enough time. People think it takes years and years of therapy and talking about it. What would you say to people who are there in that space where you were
you,
6 weeks ago?
you have to literally step out of that comfort zone, because it becomes a comfort zone. And and the only way for us to learn and grow is to be uncomfortable, but it can be done in a very healthy way. And yeah, just like for you and I, you know, reading all the things that we have been reading, finding the books, you know, listening to podcasts, which is good, and it gets you to a place where like, okay, hey, I got this. But then just like me, I got to a place where, because you never know what tomorrow is going to bring, we have no idea what the future holds, and that's only but going to help so much. I got to the point where I realized, and I've learned, I can't do this alone. Like, we're human beings, we're not meant to be alone. And there are people like you that are actually out there, which I feel like this needs to be more.
Thank you.
To literally be out there, like Jay needs it, oh my lord. But anyways, it's, I like, take the chance on yourself if you're so willing to step, you know, if you're the type of person that has a big heart and you're more than willing to out to help someone, why not do the same for yourself by trying something that's so different in therapy? And yes, it's 6 weeks, and I can say, I was like, I wouldn't say, I felt like I was really ready in the beginning, and I knew that I was so willing to take the step forward, and always telling my number one thing too was keeping an open mind. keeping an open mind of what was to come, and trusting, trusting you with every step of the way in these last few weeks. And so, which leads to like I think the longest email that I sent you, which was weekly. That's because that's what came to mind. And just realizing like you were there with me every step of the way. And like I remember telling you too, like subconsciously I have you in my mind. So but really it's our session. It's, you have been there the last 6 weeks to help guide me, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that's doing the work. I'm the one that's committed to it. And because for the first time ever, I've finally put myself first mentally. Because to me, it's easy to do it physically because you're distracted. But when you actually peel back that onion and the rawness that's in it, the stench that comes with it.
Yeah, it's like, whew.
And learning to really be transparent with yourself. You can't be, raw and transparent with people outside of you if you're not doing it first within. So
Yeah.
I thank you. Like,
You're
I,
welcome. And thank you for sharing that. And I like that analogy, and I share it. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And so, it is that relationship, that connection. So thank you so much, Poppy, for sharing your experience for others to kind of see and learn from and grow up. And it's been beautiful, beautiful to watch you grow over these last 6 weeks and just really transform. It really is called transformational, rapid and transformational therapy. So it's been beautiful. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Welcome. Bye.